Coming up on Citrus TV News live at 6.
A new play premieres tonight at the Syracuse stage.
And Vice President Biden releases a statement on the 2016 election.
Plus, an update on former basketball player Lamar Odom's health.
All that and more. Citrus TV News starts now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Caroline Strange.
And I'm Hunter Saenz. October is nearing a close, as is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. However, new guidelines for screenings have just been announced. That's our top story tonight. The American Cancer Society has come out with new guidelines for breast cancer screenings. The organization announced yesterday that women should hold off getting screened until age 45 or later. That's later than previously recommended.
The new protocol also calls for women over the age of 55 to get screenings every other year, not annually, as the guidelines, though, pertain to healthy women with an average risk of getting breast cancer.
Those with a family history of breast cancer are advised to speak with their doctors about personal screening plans.
The Syracuse stage is getting a taste of Steve Martin's comedy for the next few weeks. The stage's season opener, The Underpants, was adapted by Martin from a German farce dating back to 1910. The play centers on a woman who drops her underpants when a king walks by and the hilarity that ensues. The play premieres tonight and tomorrow, but opening night is this Friday.
A Syracuse alumnus and Medal of Honor recipient will be honored by his alma mater this Friday. A ceremony will be held to honor the late William Sheeman, a 1924 SU alumnus and World War I veteran. A bronze plaque will also be put on display to honor Sheeman's service. Sheeman's daughters received the Medal of Honor in their late father's place this past June.
This Saturday, alumni and students will have the opportunity to tour the historic bell towers of EPA's Krause College, affectionately known as Hogwarts to students on campus. The ringing of the bells takes place twice daily, and if you manage to get up early enough before the Pitt game this weekend, the tour will be held at 8:30 to 9:15 Saturday morning.
Last week's crime scare left many students wondering if they were uninformed about campus safety. As Citrus TV's Chris Vinzen tells us, Q Stay Safe has come up with a creative way to enlighten you.
Glow sticks. They're fun, bright, and colorful. And if you've passed Comstock in the last day, you've probably noticed them lining the sidewalks. 3 architecture students are hoping their eye-catching appeal can help promote public safety.
Taylor Johnson, Brooke Shea, and Steffi Maldonado started a project called Q Stay Safe this semester as a part of their Politics of Public Space architecture class. Their efforts have helped shine a big light, or thousands of small ones, on Syracuse University crime awareness.
Well, we thought that there was a lot of missing gaps between what we were told as students from the Department of Public Safety and just the overall awareness of the student body.
It kind of shocked us, and it's something that we hadn't really seen before, and we've been here for 5 years. So we really just wanted to bring awareness to that, because places that people think are just normal places to walk home actually have had a lot of crime. So awareness is just kind of our main goal.
The girls purchased 4,000 glow sticks, and with the Department of Public Safety's blessing, they lined Comstock with color. The glow sticks have cards with DPS contact information and a link to Q Stay Safe's social media. The girls hope people take the glow sticks and put them on their wrists as a reminder to stay safe.
So I think it will encourage people to maybe learn more and use more of the resources that both DPS and the Daily Orange provides to see where to stay safe, and just promoting being safer at night and being aware of your surroundings.
Tonight, the girls will be lighting up Euclid from Lancaster to Ostrom. For Citrus TV, I'm Chris Vinzen.
Thanks, Chris. Now coming up next on Citrus TV News Live at 6, Vice President Joe Biden announces whether or not he'll be running in the 2016 presidential race.
And a new Prime Minister for Canada.
plus President Netanyahu's controversial comments. All that and more after the break.
Syracuse students saw temperatures in the 60s today. Find out if that warm fall weather is here to stay after the break.
Welcome to Orange Press Pass.
Orange Press Pass is your ticket inside the Syracuse locker room. Hear from the coaches.
We got some open looks from the perimeter
and players.
Well, I saw pressure coming from the backside.
Get in-depth analysis, reports on site, and more.
Let's go on OPP.
Orange Press Pass, live after every Syracuse game.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Talking Points is more than just a campus political show. We tackle big issues and have in-depth conversations.
Talking Points.
Talking Points.
We report the political news that our students not only need to know, but deserve to know.
Talking Points.
We do it at the local news level and we do it at the national news level. We're here. You need us. All the political news you need, only on
Talking Points. Talking Points.
Talking Points, only on Citrus TV.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
A shooting on Hope Avenue last week left a 15-year-old dead and a 17-year-old injured. But as police searched for the suspects, SU went into a shelter in place. The incident left the university trending on Facebook and Twitter. Citrus TV's Megan Mystery looked into the role that social media plays in times of emergencies.
According to the Pew Research Center, 74% of online adults have a social media profile. So when SU's Department of Public Safety issued an orange alert for a shelter in place following a nearby off-campus shooting, many took to Twitter and Facebook to find out details.
I think it spread a lot of information about what was going on outside because the text alerts, they gave us some information and then other people were sharing things over Twitter and over Snapchat.
It takes just a couple of seconds for somebody to tweet off of their cell phone. They can do it even faster if they'll be using their laptop. Which is why, in times of crises and other dangerous situations, social media can be helpful. It can help spread the truth, but it can also lead to misinformation and heightened panic, which is why some say that while social media can be useful, it can also be problematic.
I like to refer to it as both like an amazing tool, but also a little bit of a curse because it can provide a little bit more background noise than you really wanted or asked for.
Student Neil Hanwad says Twitter and Facebook became a place full of speculation and unconfirmed reports.
People were posting pictures of texts that their friends sent, and it was just so wrong.
One way to combat this, says social media professor Jennifer Greigel, is to make a universal hashtag in place for all campus emergencies.
I think it's really good to have a centralized locations where all the members of the community can come in and have a discussion around that, and then you can look for misinformation and correct it.
Greigel says in times of emergency, social media can help spread information to those involved and those not at the scene. Megan Mystery, Citrus TV.
Vice President Joe Biden says he will not be running for president. After months of speculation, the SU Law alum says he has to consider the emotional energy it would take to run for president. His son, Beau, passed away this summer due to brain cancer. This means that the frontrunners of the Democratic Party are still Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. And as Biden refuses to jump into the race, another Democratic candidate is jumping out of it. Former Virginia Senator Jim Webb is dropping out of the Democratic race for president, but he is considering a race on the independent ticket. Webb says his opinions do not exactly fall in line with the Democratic Party. He also says he was not given enough time to speak at the last Democratic debate. And one conservative congressman is eyeing a run for Speaker of the House. Those closest to Wisconsin Republican Paul Ryan say he will probably compete for the House Speaker's job that will be left vacant by John Boehner. He says House Republicans will choose a new Speaker on October 28th. The official House vote will happen the following day. Ryan says he will not run unless he gets support from all of his fellow Republicans. And the family of a slain NYPD police officer is still mourning tonight after Officer Randolph Holder was shot in the head Tuesday evening while responding to reports of a gunman in East Harlem. The alleged shooter is in custody, but his name has not yet been released. This brings the count to 31 police officers who have been killed in the line of duty nationwide this year. And a shortage of execution drugs is making it harder for Ohio to carry out the death penalty. Executions in Ohio will have to wait 1 year as the state searches for more lethal injection drugs. There are 29 Ohio inmates currently scheduled to be put to death. Nobody has been executed in Ohio since the start of 2014.
Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad and Russian President Vladimir Putin met in Moscow yesterday. The meeting reportedly centered on coordinating military action in Syria. Russia remains one of Syria's only allies, bombing enemies of the Assad regime since the end of September. Though at first claiming there were strikes against ISIS, Russia has admitted their targets are broader and intended to bolster Assad's power. And Canada is welcoming a new Prime Minister. The Liberal Party leader Justin Trudeau won the election on Monday, ending Conservative Prime Minister Stephen Harper's 9-year run. Trudeau is the son of former Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, who ran the country from 1968 to 1979 and again from 1980 to 1984. At just 43 years old, he's the second youngest Canadian Prime Minister in history. And Benjamin Netanyahu has ruffled a few feathers for suggesting a former Palestinian leader influenced the Holocaust. In an address to Jewish leaders yesterday, the Israeli Prime Minister said a former Grand Mufti of Jerusalem persuaded the Nazis to adopt their final solution plan. Holocaust survivors and historians have criticized the comments, saying they take away responsibility from Hitler and are historically inaccurate. Netanyahu made the comment in an effort to show how long anti-Semitic sentiment has existed in Palestine. Now let's head over to Hunter and Lindsay to see what we can expect after the break on Citrus TV News Live at 6.
Caroline, coming up next on Citrus TV News Live at 6, ICYMI fills you in on all of the hot topic news you may be missing.
But first, you may be needing your umbrella tomorrow. I'll tell you have the rest of the week's forecast on the other side of the break.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. learn the body language, and spot a stroke fast.
It was a little wet outside today. Lindsay, is the rain here to stay for the rest of the week?
Well, it's going to rain a little bit more, but hopefully not for too long. Today, students saw temperatures around 60, which is actually higher than our average for this time of year. We're usually averaging about in the high 50s or in the low 40s, but we are actually above both of those, and with temperatures reaching into the 60s today, which is always nice to see in October. Now, as we look at current temperatures across the region, we can see that most temperatures have been in the 60s or upper 50s today, which is pretty typical for this time of year, even a little warmer than usual. Now, as we look at current temperatures across the nation, we can see that typically the southern southeast region of the United States as well as the west coast are experiencing temperatures in the low 80s, which is very typical for this October. But we can still see those 60-degree temperatures in the northeast. Now, as we look at current winds, it's actually very mild in Syracuse, which gave us not too bad of a rainstorm today, just a little wet, but not too bad. And as we look at current surface temperatures, we can see this high pressure system moving throughout the northeast, which is what we saw that little drizzle today. But what we really need to watch out for is that precipitation that is following behind the front. We should see that precipitation tomorrow later on. Now, as we look at a closer peek, we can see that precipitation will actually be here tomorrow morning. So make sure to have that umbrella with you as you go. Now, as you look at the Doppler radar, there's actually no precipitation at the moment, but we definitely will start to see the remnants tomorrow morning. Now, as we look at tonight's temperatures, we'll pretty much be in the mid-50s this evening, so not too bad with some light showers, but overall pretty mild. As we look at tomorrow's conditions, we can see that temperatures will be in the low 60s with just some morning showers from that high pressure system I showed before, but overall not too bad. As we take a look for the rest of the week, we can see besides precipitation on Thursday, we can see that on Friday, Saturday, we should start to see some mild temperatures for this time of year. Now, as we look further, we can see that although it's supposed to rain on Sunday, hopefully your Saturday plans won't be too ruined because, hopefully there'll be some sunshine and a lot of this fall precipitation will start to be going out of the way.
Now, Lindsay, we're seeing those above average temperatures, and it looks like it's going to dip down over the weekend. Are we going to start to see it getting cooler as we go through the rest of the month?
We'll definitely start to see it getting cooler, but I still think we have a few more weeks or maybe even a few more days, at least of the temperatures in the high 50s or low 60s.
And when do you think we're going to see snow?
That's everyone's favorite question. We win the Golden Snow Globe every year, but I'd like to say we won't really see a lot of snow, at least, until the end of October, early November.
Okay, thank you so much, Lindsay. And now we turn to something that we like to call our ICYMI, or In Case You Missed It segment. Here we bring you the latest health, entertainment, and consumer news. Hunter, what's new?
Caroline, Tesla now finds itself on the Consumer Report's cutting room floor. The car company's Model S has been removed from the Consumer Report after owners complained of motor issues, problems with the doors, and squeaky noises. The move sent Tesla's shares down 10% on Wall Street. Consumer Report says the Model S is still one of the best cars for drivability, but not reliability. And stocks are also down for Yahoo, but an unexpected partner is coming to the rescue. Google and Yahoo announced a 3-year partnership to help improve search engine capabilities. This comes after Yahoo's revenue reportedly dropped 8% since last year. And former NBA player Lamar Odom has been moved to Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles. Odom was airlifted on Monday night from the Las Vegas hospital where he's been Last week, reports say his condition continued to improve, taking his first steps yesterday. And for all of the hopeless romantics out there, E! News reports that Khloe Kardashian and Lamar are calling off their divorce and are giving their marriage another shot. It's good to know that real love does exist out there. And the Kardashian news doesn't end there, though. Caitlyn Jenner will be taking her story to the road. Jenner will start a speaking tour called Up Close and Personal. The tour will kick off this February in Toronto as part of the Unique Lives and Experiences tour. Tickets have already gone on sale, and this makes me think E! News should just call itself K News from now on. And in some non-Kardashian related news and entertainment news, Chris Rock will be hosting this year's Oscars. The comedian confirmed on Twitter today that he will host the 88th Annual Academy Awards. He last hosted back in 2005 when $1 Million Baby took home the prize for Best Picture. This year's event takes place on February 28th. Fans of the show Gilmore Girls have reason to celebrate today. Netflix announced yesterday the show will be getting a reboot, with both Alexis Bledel and Lauren Graham returning to play the famous mother-daughter duo. The show originally wrapped back in 2007. Creator Amy Sherman Palladino had said she was never satisfied with how she ended the show. Here's to another weekend binge watching a Netflix series with my girlfriend or not. And last but not least, that about does it for this segment of ICYMI. Chris, over to you with sports.
Well, coming up in sports, the SU men's soccer team closes out its non-conference schedule. The SU women's ice hockey team starts its conference schedule, and baseball season could be heading down its final road. Citrus TV News live at 6 will be right back.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
One of the more dominant teams on the Hill this season is limping down the stretch. The SU men's soccer team is coming off a tough loss to 4th-ranked Clemson, where the Tigers scored in the 89th minute to steal a win from the Orange. Things would not get easier as the physical Hartford Hawks came to Syracuse on Tuesday to wrap up the non-conference schedule for the Orange. Let's take a look at those highlights right now. It's a rainy day in Syracuse right there, but it's not stopping forward Julian Boucher, who takes the shot right here, and it's a beautiful shot into the top right corner, putting the Orange up 1-0 in the 19th minute. But Hartford would come right back. The set piece from Mikael Song finds Andre Morrison in the back. He taps it in, and it's 1-1 tied in the 22nd minute. So what do? You change the jerseys at halftime. For what reason, I don't know. But Julian Boucher will hit the ball off the hand of Andre Morrison. That's in the box, so it's a penalty to Syracuse, and Boucher has the hot foot, so he'll take the shot of the penalty, and that slots it home into the bottom left corner of the net. Syracuse is up 2-1, but Hartford would not go away. Here, Mikael Song has the ball on the right-hand side of the pitch, and it finds Blake Jones of Hartford, who puts it past goalie Hendrik Hilpert to tie it at 2. This game would go into overtime, and in overtime, Julian Boucher is trying to find Chris Nanko on the box, but he can't find him as Nanko can't get the ball settled. Miles Robinson and the Syracuse Orange devastated for this loss. Citrus TV's Lauren Walsh has more from a wet SU soccer stadium.
Looking at Syracuse's half of the scoreboard, it looked like more of the same tonight, with 2 goals from Julian Boucher and 15 shots recorded by the Orange. Despite those numbers, SU put up a 2-2 double overtime tie against Hartford in what was a disappointing match for both players and Coach Ian McIntyre.
We started a little bit sloppy. We got ourselves in ahead with like a great strike from Julian. But first half, I thought a lot of it, physically, we were second best tonight.
In the last
quarter we didn't really were that tough, that strong, and didn't win all the 50-50 balls. So I feel like we lagged there a little bit, and yeah, that maybe made the difference.
Started second half much better. Came out of our locker room fired up. Got that second goal, kind of dropped it a little bit after that and couldn't get back up to the intensity level that we had before our second goal. So it was disappointing.
Syracuse stays at home for its last match of the season that takes place on Friday against NC State at 7 o'clock. Reporting from a rainy SU soccer stadium, Lauren Walsh, Citrus TV.
Thanks, Lauren. Moving to the ice, the SU women's ice hockey team will look to ride the momentum of a dominant win. The Orange welcome RIT to Tennedy Ice Pavilion after blowing out Providence 4-0 on Sunday. SU forward Melissa Piacentini is coming off a 3-point week, enough to win the CHA Player of the Week. This will be the first conference game of the season for the Orange. And shifting to the Diamond, the participants in this year's World Series could be decided tonight. Should they win, the Mets and the Royals could clinch a spot in the Fall Classic. Well, how did they get to this spot? Well, the Royals got to R.A. Dickey early, and they didn't stop there. After scoring 5 runs off the knuckleballer, the Royals used a small ball to push another 9 runs across the plate in the last 3 innings, giving them the 14-2 win. Game 5 is actually underway now, and the Blue Jays are now up 5-0 after 6 innings. Marco Estrada and Edison Volquez are the starters for this game. And the Mets will try to make it to the World Series after taking a commanding 3-0 series lead last night. Daniel Murphy homered in his record-tying 5th straight game, while Yoenis Cespedes added 2 RBIs. Mets ace Jacob deGrom delivered a strong performance, pitching 7 innings of 2-run ball while striking out 7. Game 4 is tonight at 8:07, and Mets rookie Steven Matz will look to close out the series.
Now, Christian, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe only one team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit, and that was the Red Sox. Do you think the Cubs are going to be able to do it?
Unfortunately, I think Back to the Future got this one wrong. The Mets will eventually close out the series. It might not be tonight, but I don't see this one going all the way to 7 games. The Mets will probably move on to the World Series.
All right, Christian, thanks so much.
What are you going to be wearing to class tomorrow? Lindsay will have the answer.
And the future is finally here.
We'll be right back.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today.
Aww, you should pick that up.
Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
All right, back here with Lindsay. What can we expect for tomorrow's weather?
Tomorrow when we wake up, it'll be a pretty rainy morning, but fortunately, it'll clear up by the evening, so hopefully it will only rain in the morning, and then it should be clear skies for the rest of the day.
Good. Brightness to my day.
Perfect weather for your birthday.
That's right. Well, we are officially in the future, by Robert Zemeckis' standards at least.
That's right. Today marked the exact date in the future that Marty McFly goes in the second Back to the Future movie.
The film takes place in 1985, and McFly goes 30 years into the future to October 21st, 2015. That's today. And if that doesn't make you feel old, I don't know what will. Maybe this. Good night, everyone.